The massive Xylaxian warship Eternal Dominance hung in Earth's orbit like a predatory beast eyeing its next meal. Commander Nyrix stood at the observation deck, his iridescent scales shifting colors in the reflected light of the primitive planet below. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Koss, approached with a data crystal in her four-fingered hand. Another Class 3 civilization, Commander, Koss reported, her translator converting her melodic tones into standard Imperial speech. They've barely managed to reach their own moon. Their most advanced computers are laughably simple compared to our quantum networks. Nyrix's vertical pupils dilated with amusement. The Xylaxian Empire had encountered thousands of developing species over its 50,000-year history. Each integration followed the same pattern: shock and awe, then submission, then acceptance. Humans would be no different. "Tell me about their defenses," Nyrix commanded, running a clawed hand over his ceremonial armor. The gleaming black metal had never seen real combat; it hadn't needed to in centuries. "Primitive nuclear weapons, basic orbital satellites, and a handful of space stations that wouldn't survive a single shot from our lowest-powered weapons," Koss replied. "Their military forces are divided among nearly 200 sovereign nations. They spend more time fighting each other than looking to the stars." Nyrix chittered in amusement. "Perfect. Prepare the diplomatic chamber. Let's show these primitives what real power looks like." The human delegation arrived in a shuttle that made Nyrix want to laugh. It looked like something from the Empire's ancient history museums. Three representatives emerged: Director May Wung of the United Earth Council, General Marcus Jackson of the Global Defense Force, and Dr. Rahul Patel, Earth's leading quantum physicist. "Welcome aboard the Eternal Dominance," Nyrix announced, his translator converting his clicks and whistles into English. "I trust our gravity adjustments are comfortable for your limited biology." Director Wang smiled politely, her composed demeanor revealing nothing. "Quite comfortable, thank you. Your ship is impressive." "This," Nyrix gestured dismissively, "this is merely a diplomatic vessel, a tiny fraction of the Empire's might. Please join us for the traditional feast of integration." As they walked to the diplomatic chamber, Dr. Patel's eyes darted everywhere, taking in every detail of the ship's technology. Nyrix noticed but wasn't concerned. Let the primitive marvel at advancement beyond his comprehension. The diplomatic chamber was designed to overwhelm. Holographic displays showed the Empire's 1,000 worlds, crystal fountains defied gravity, and automated servants anticipated every need. The humans, however, seemed remarkably composed. "Let us discuss terms," Nyrix said, activating a document projector. "The Empire offers protection, technology, and membership in the greatest civilization ever known. In return, we require only 60% of your world's resources and complete military submission." General Jackson's face remained neutral. "And if Earth declines?" The chamber went silent. Nyrix's scales shifted to a deep purple of confusion. "Decline? No species has ever declined, but if you need time to prepare your people, we can grant you one standard galactic year." "How generous," Director Wang said, her tone unreadable. "We will need time to consult with Earth's nations." After the humans departed, Lieutenant Koss approached Nyrix. "They seemed unusually calm, Commander." "They're primitive, not stupid," Nyrix dismissed her concerns. "They know they have no choice. Establish surveillance stations throughout their system. Monitor their activities but don't interfere. Let them play with their rockets and satellites for a few more months." Back on Earth, in a bunker deep beneath the Himalayas, the three representatives met with a global council via quantum-encrypted channels that the Xylaxian surveillance couldn't detect. "They fell for it completely," Director Wang reported. "Operation Phoenix is greenlit." "How long before they notice?" someone asked. Dr. Patel smiled for the first time since returning. "Their technology is advanced but stagnant. They haven't innovated in centuries. They didn't even notice I was scanning their quantum matrices the entire time. We can have the first fleet ready in 6 months." "And the Lagrange point facilities?" General Jackson asked. "Already under construction," another council member confirmed. "The Xylaxians are so focused on our visible satellites, they haven't detected the quantum-shifted construction platforms." Director Wang stood, her expression determined. "Humanity has spent centuries fighting itself, advancing through conflict and competition. Now we have an external threat to unite against. Let's show these aliens what humans can do when we work together." "Send word to all facilities," General Jackson ordered. "Operation Phoenix begins now. Let them watch our decoy projects while we build something they can't even imagine. In orbit, the Zylaxian surveillance drones recorded exactly what they expected to see. A primitive species scrambling to improve their basic technology, unaware that their fate was already sealed. None of them noticed the subtle quantum fluctuations in Earth's shadow, where humanity's real work was just beginning. 3 months after the Zylaxian visit, Lieutenant Ka stood before Commander Nyrix with her weekly surveillance report. The holographic displays showed various construction projects across Earth's orbit, crude attempts at defensive satellites and primitive space stations. The humans are proceeding exactly as expected, Commander, Koss reported, her scales shimmering with satisfaction. Their efforts are admirable but futile. They've managed to launch 37 new satellites and begun construction on 3 orbital platforms. Nyrix lounged in his command chair, absently flicking through the surveillance feeds. Any signs of quantum technology development? None, Commander. Their most advanced projects still rely on primitive nuclear fission and chemical propulsion. Deep within a quantum-shifted facility on Mars' dark side, the reality was very different. Dr. Rahul Patel stood before a massive holographic display, watching as the first prototype of humanity's new quantum drive came online. The chamber hummed with energy that the Zylaxian sensors couldn't detect. Power conversion at 400% efficiency, announced Dr. Olivia Chen, the facility's chief engineer. Her fingers danced across floating control panels as she fine-tuned the gravitational matrices. The Zylaxians won't know what hit them. Director Wang entered the chamber, accompanied by Admiral James Rodriguez, the newly appointed commander of Earth's hidden fleet. How soon until we can begin installing the drives in the ships? The Admiral asked. 2 weeks, Dr. Patel replied, studying the quantum fluctuations. The real challenge was reverse engineering their technology while improving it. Their quantum matrices are efficient but limited by traditional thinking, by combining them with human theoretical physics. We've created something they've never seen before, Dr. Chen finished, grinning. They've had this technology for millennia but never imagined using it this way. In another section of the facility, General Jackson oversaw the development of humanity's secret weapon. Rows of sleek vessels stood in quantum-shifted docks, invisible to conventional detection methods. Unlike the bulky, ornate ships of the Zylaxian Empire, these craft were streamlined and practical, incorporating centuries of human combat experience with reverse-engineered alien technology. Status report, Jackson commanded, addressing Colonel Diana Reyes, head of tactical development. The neural interface systems are online, Reyes reported. Our pilots can react 50 times faster than Zylaxian crews. We've also completed testing on the adaptive shield geometry. Instead of relying on brute force like their static barriers, our shields learn and adapt to enemy weapons in real time. Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, humanity put on an elaborate show for their unwanted observers. Nations publicly argued about resource allocation and defense strategies, all while secretly pooling their resources for Operation Phoenix. The Zylaxians watched with amusement as humans launched conventional rockets and constructed what appeared to be basic defense platforms. In orbit, Lieutenant Koss noticed something odd in the sensor readings. Commander, there's been a 15% increase in solar wind interference around the Earth's magnetic field. Natural variation, Nyrix dismissed. Their sun is entering an active cycle, focus on their visible activities. The solar interference was actually a side effect of thousands of quantum-shifted manufacturing platforms operating in Earth's orbit. Director Wang stood on one such platform, watching autonomous constructors assemble the largest ship humanity had ever built. The Prometheus will be ready on schedule, reported Chief Constructor Hassan Malik. We've incorporated everything we learned from their ship designs and improved upon it. Their armor is impressive but rigid. Ours is adaptive, using programmable matter that can repair itself and change configuration on the fly. And the weapons, Wang asked. Better than we hoped. The Zylaxians use brute force energy weapons. We've developed hybrid systems that combine their quantum technology with human innovation. Precision over power. Their shields are designed to withstand hammer blows. They've never encountered a scalpel. In the Himalayan Command Center, Earth's leaders received regular updates from facilities across the solar system. What had once been national rivalries had transformed into a unified human effort. Chinese quantum physicists worked alongside American engineers, Russian tactical experts collaborated with Indian AI developers, and Brazilian biotechnology merged with Japanese robotics. The Xylaxians made one crucial mistake, Dr. Patel explained to the council. They assumed that because we hadn't developed certain technologies, we couldn't understand them. They never considered that we might look at their technology and see possibilities they'd never imagined. General Jackson added, they've grown complacent. Their technology hasn't truly advanced in centuries because they haven't needed it to. Humanity has been constantly pushing boundaries, driven by competition and necessity. How much longer can we maintain the deception? Someone asked. Director Wang checked the latest intelligence reports. Their surveillance remains focused on our decoy projects. They're so convinced of their superiority that they're seeing exactly what they expect to see: a primitive species struggling to advance beyond its limits. And when they realize the truths, by then, Admiral Rodriguez said with a grim smile, it will be too late. The Prometheus battle group will be complete in 60 days. We're not building a fleet to match theirs, we're building one that will make theirs obsolete. In the darkness of space, invisible to Xylaxian sensors, humanity's real work continued. The first generation of quantum-enhanced ships was almost complete, their crews training in virtual simulations based on scanned Xylaxian tactical data. When the Empire returned in 9 months, they would find not a primitive species ready for subjugation, but an awakened giant prepared to rewrite the rules of galactic civilization. Commander Nyrix paced the bridge of the eternal dominance, his scales shifting between shades of agitation. Something about the latest surveillance data didn't add up. Earth's visible industrial output had increased by 300% in the past 6 months, yet their resource consumption metrics showed minimal change. Run the analysis again, he ordered Lieutenant Koss. Where are they getting the materials for all this construction? Sir, called out Sensor Officer Vex, his cranial ridges pulsing with concern, I'm detecting unusual gravitational fluctuations near their moon. Natural phenomenons. No, sir, the pattern is too regular, but when we focus our sensors on the location, there's nothing there. Deep within the lunar quantum shipyards, Dr. Olivia Chen and her team were putting the finishing touches on the Prometheus's quantum drive core. The massive engine room hummed with power that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously, making it virtually undetectable to conventional sensors. They're getting suspicious, Admiral Rodriguez noted, watching the Xylaxian probe attempts on a specialized display. Their sensor sweeps are becoming more focused. Let them look, Dr. Chen replied, making final adjustments to the drive matrices. By the time they figure out how to detect our quantum shifting, we'll be ready to show them exactly what humanity has achieved. In the Mars facility, Dr. Patel supervised the final testing of humanity's most ambitious creation yet, the Neural Combat Integration System. Colonel Reyes sat in the testing chamber, her mind linked directly to a prototype fighter craft through quantum entanglement. Response time down to 0.002 seconds, reported Dr. Kai Nakamura, the project's lead neurologist. The human brain, augmented by our quantum AI, can process combat data faster than any Xylaxian computer. Colonel Reyes opened her eyes, grinning. It's like the ship becomes part of your body. Their crews rely on voice commands and manual controls. We'll be moving and reacting before they even finish giving orders. On Earth, the deception continued. Humanity's visible space program launched more conventional rockets and satellites, maintaining the illusion of a civilization desperately trying to advance with limited technology. The Xylaxians watched these efforts with diminishing amusement and growing confusion. Commander, Lieutenant Koss reported, we've detected unusual energy signatures from their polar regions. They're unlike anything in our database. Nyrix studied the readings. Impossible. These energy patterns suggest quantum manipulation, but their visible technology isn't nearly advanced enough for that. Check the sensors for malfunction. The energy signatures were coming from the Polar Research Station, where Chief Constructor Malik's team was stress testing the new adaptive armor systems. The quantum programmable material could transform its molecular structure in microseconds, adapting to any form of attack. Beautiful, isn't it? Director Wang said, watching the material shift and flow like liquid metal. They think we're building basic metal alloy plates up there in orbit. They have no idea we've completely reimagined how armor works. Director General Jackson called from the command center. We've got a situation. The The Xylaxians just launched a deep space probe toward the Jupiter shipyards. Wang's expression hardened. Time to accelerate the timeline. Send word to all facilities Operation Phoenix enters final phase now. Across the solar system, hidden quantum facilities kicked into high gear. The Prometheus, humanity's first true quantum battleship, powered up its core for the first time. Throughout its massive hull, adaptive armor plates rippled with power and hybrid weapon systems hummed to life. All hands to battle stations, Admiral Rodriguez's voice echoed through quantum-encrypted channels. This is not a drill, Xylaxian probe approaching Jupiter defense perimeter. In the Prometheus's neural control center, Colonel Reyes and her squadron leaders merged their consciousness with their ships. The neural link allowed them to sense every system, every weapon, as naturally as their own limbs. Multiple quantum signatures detected, the Xylaxian probe reported back to the Eternal Dominance. Unable to determine source, readings suggest impossible energy levels. Commander Nyrix's scales turned pale. What do you mean impossible? Sir, Lieutenant Koss interrupted, her voice shaking. The humans, they're powering up something near Jupiter, something massive. Our sensors can't get a clear reading, but the energy output. It's greater than our entire battle fleet combined. In the Jupiter shipyards, Admiral Rodriguez gave the order they'd been waiting 6 months to hear. Disengage quantum shifting. Let them see what humanity has built. The Prometheus and its escort fleet shimmered into normal space, their sleek predatory forms a stark contrast to the ornate Xylaxian vessels. The ships moved with impossible grace, their adaptive armor flowing like liquid metal, their hybrid weapons crackling with power the Empire had never imagined possible. By the Emperor, Nyrix whispered, watching the feed from the probe. That can't be, they were primitive, how did they? Sir, Koss reported, her voice barely a whisper. We're detecting similar quantum signatures appearing throughout their system, hundreds of them, thousands. In the Himalayan Command Center, Earth's leaders watched as humanity revealed its true strength. Director Wang allowed herself a small smile. Send a message to the Xylaxian command ship, she ordered. Tell them humanity is ready to discuss new terms, as equals. The probe's last transmission showed the Prometheus moving with impossible speed, its quantum drive bending space in ways the Empire's scientists had never considered. In that moment, the Xylaxian Empire faced a terrifying realization. They hadn't discovered a primitive civilization ready for conquest. They had awakened a sleeping giant that had taken their technology and transformed it into something entirely new. The Xylaxian Empire's response fleet arrived at the edge of the solar system 2 months ahead of schedule. 50 capital ships, each bristling with weapons that had subjugated 1,000 worlds, dropped out of faster-than-light travel in perfect military formation. Grand Admiral Zexus stood on the bridge of the Imperial Dreadnought Sovereign Might, his scales gleaming with anticipation. Report from the Eternal Dominance, his communications officer announced. Commander Nyrix requests immediate reinforcement. The humans have developed quantum technology. Zexus laughed, the sound like breaking glass. Impossible, show me. The holographic display activated, showing the Prometheus battle group in high orbit around Jupiter. Zexus's laughter died in his throat. The human ships were unlike anything in Imperial records, sleek, dangerous, moving with a grace that suggested mastery of gravitational fields far beyond standard Imperial technology. Impossible, he repeated, but softer this time. In the Prometheus's neural command center, Colonel Reyes felt the arrival of the Xylaxian fleet through her quantum link. The neural interface translated the massive energy signatures into tactical data that her enhanced mind processed instantly. 50 ships, she reported to Admiral Rodriguez. Standard Imperial wedge formation. They're still using conventional FTL drives, no quantum manipulation. Rodriguez nodded, his own neural link providing him with a god's-eye view of the solar system. They're bringing out the big guns early. Good, Director Wang, are we ready for Phase 2? In the Himalayan Command Center, Wang watched as real-time data flowed through quantum-encrypted channels. All facilities report ready. Dr. Patel, you may proceed. Deep beneath the Martian surface, Dr. Patel and Dr. Chen initiated humanity's next surprise. Quantum reactors that had been gathering power for months activated simultaneously across the solar system. Space itself seemed to shiver as thousands of quantum-shifted facilities phased into normal space. By the Emperor's crown, Lieutenant Koss breathed, watching from the Eternal Dominance. They're everywhere, The orbital shipyards, the lunar bases, the asteroid facilities, they've built an entire industrial infrastructure right under our sensors. Commander Nyrix's scales had turned almost white. How did we miss this? The answer came in the form of Dr. Patel's voice, broadcasting on all Imperial frequencies. You missed it because you were looking for what you expected to see. Humanity has spent centuries learning to think differently, to see possibilities where others see limitations. Your quantum technology was impressive but stagnant. We took it and made it dance. Grand Admiral Zexus's voice cut through the channel. Enough. You show impressive advancement, humans, but the Empire has conquered species far more advanced than you. Surrender now and we may still be merciful. Tactical analysis, Colonel Reyes reported through the neural net. Their ships are powerful but predictable. Standard Imperial doctrine, overwhelming force, minimal adaptation. Their crews are still using manual controls and verbal commands. Admiral Rodriguez smiled. Show them what neural integration can do. Reyes squadron, you have permission to engage. What followed would be studied in military academies, both human and alien, for centuries to come. Colonel Reyes' squadron of quantum fighters moved like extensions of their pilots' thoughts, executing maneuvers that seemed to defy physics. The massive Imperial ships, for all their power, might as well have been trying to swat quantum ghosts. Impossible, Zexus raged as another squadron of Imperial fighters was disabled without taking a single hit. No organic pilot can move like that. Actually, Dr. Chen's voice came through the comm. They can, when their minds are directly linked to their ships through quantum entanglement. While you were perfecting bigger guns, we were perfecting the interface between human consciousness and machine precision. The Prometheus itself moved into view, its adaptive armor rippling like liquid metal, its hybrid weapons systems charging with power that made the Imperial sensors scream in protest. Behind it, thousands of quantum-shifted facilities continued to appear, revealing the true scale of humanity's preparation. This is Director Wang, her voice calm and measured on all frequencies. We've had 6 months to study your technology, improve upon it, and prepare our response. Your sensors are now detecting only 30% of our total military and industrial capacity. Would you like to see the rest? In the Himalayan Command Center, General Jackson watched the tactical displays with satisfaction. They still don't understand, he said to Wang. They think this is about matching their military might. They haven't realized that we've completely changed the rules of engagement. He was right. The Imperial fleet's formation was breaking apart as they tried to adapt to threats their 1,000 years of military doctrine had never prepared them for. Human quantum fighters phased through their strongest shields, adaptive armor absorbed their most powerful weapons, and neural-linked pilots outmaneuvered their best tactical AI. Final warning, Wang broadcast. The Empire has 2 choices: withdraw and return to negotiate with humanity as equals, or witness the full deployment of our quantum military capabilities. You have 1 hour to decide. Grand Admiral Zexus stared at the tactical display, watching as centuries of Imperial military superiority crumbled before human innovation. His scales shifted through colors of rage, fear, and finally, understanding. How, he demanded, how did you advance so far in just 6 months? Admiral Rodriguez's response was simple. We had motivation, unity, and something you lost long ago, the ability to imagine beyond the boundaries of what we were told was possible. The Empire had arrived expecting to find a primitive civilization ready for conquest. Instead, they had found humanity at its finest, unified, innovative, and ready to rewrite the rules of galactic civilization. As the hour began to count down, the question was no longer whether humanity would survive, but how the Empire would adapt to a universe where they were no longer the undisputed masters of advanced technology. The hour given to the Zalaxian fleet passed in tense silence. Throughout the solar system, quantum-shifted facilities continued to materialize, each revelation adding to the Empire's growing realization of their catastrophic miscalculation. Grand Admiral Zexus stood motionless on his bridge, his scales cycling through shades of distress as tactical displays showed more human innovations appearing by the minute. New quantum signature detected, Lieutenant Koss reported from the Eternal Dominance. Something massive is emerging from Earth's moon. The lunar surface rippled like water, and from within emerged humanity's masterpiece, the Aegis platform. Unlike anything the Empire had ever seen, it was neither a weapon nor a shield in the conventional sense, but a quantum manipulation system on a scale that defied Imperial understanding. Dr. Patel's voice came through on all channels. The Aegis represents humanity's understanding of quantum mechanics taken to its logical conclusion. It doesn't just defend or attack, it rewrites the local laws of physics themselves. To demonstrate, the Aegis generated a quantum field that temporarily altered the fundamental forces within a designated area of space. Several Imperial ships found their weapons suddenly operating at minimal efficiency, their shields responding to laws of physics that no longer applied. Impossible, Zexus whispered. You can't, reality doesn't. Reality, Dr. Chen interrupted, is far more flexible than your empire has imagined. You've had quantum technology for millennia, but you stopped asking questions. Humans never stop asking what if. In the Himalayan Command Center, Director Wang received a priority communication from the Emperor himself. The ancient Xylaxian's hologram appeared before Earth's united leadership, his scales a deep shade of royal purple. Your species, the Emperor began, has achieved something unprecedented in the history of our empire. Not merely technological advancement, but a fundamental reimagining of what is possible. We had good motivation, Wang replied diplomatically. Your empire's arrival united humanity in ways we never expected. When faced with submission or extinction, we chose a third option: innovation. Admiral Rodriguez, neural linked with the Prometheus, added, your empire's greatest weakness was your certainty. You were so convinced of your superiority that you never considered we might look at your technology and see not just what it was, but what it could become. Throughout the solar system, more of humanity's achievements revealed themselves. Quantum manufacturing centers that could restructure matter at the atomic level. Neural networks that merged human creativity with machine precision. Adaptive defense systems that learned and evolved in real time. The Empire has always believed that advanced civilization meant following our path, the Emperor said. You have proven that progress can take forms we never imagined. On Mars, Colonel Reyes and her neural-linked pilots maintained their defensive positions, their quantum fighters moving with impossible grace. Through their shared neural network, they could feel the confusion and fear emanating from the Imperial crews, not just from humanity's technology, but from the revelation that their entire worldview had been built on false assumptions. We're not interested in conquest, General Jackson stated firmly. Earth has no desire to rule an empire. What we want is partnership, true partnership between equals. Dr. Patel stepped forward. Your empire has accumulated centuries of knowledge. Humanity has developed new ways of looking at that knowledge. Imagine what we could achieve together, not as rulers and subjects, but as collaborators. The Emperor was silent for a long moment, his ancient eyes studying the humans before him. In 50,000 years, he finally said, no species has ever done what you have done. You took our technology and transformed it into something we barely understand. You hid your true capabilities not through deception, but by knowing exactly how our preconceptions would blind us. The question now, Director Wang said, is whether the Empire can adapt. Can you accept a future where you are not the sole arbiters of advanced civilization? Throughout the solar system, human quantum ships maintained their positions, their adaptive armor flowing like liquid metal, their hybrid weapons humming with power that defied Imperial understanding. The Aegis platform continued its demonstration, showing mastery over fundamental forces that the Empire had never thought to manipulate. Finally, the Emperor's scales shifted to a color never before seen in Imperial diplomatic meetings, the deep blue of respect between equals. Humanity has earned more than our attention, he announced. You have earned our admiration. The Empire withdraws its claim on Earth. Instead, we propose a new relationship, an alliance between our civilizations, with humanity as full and equal partners in shaping the galaxy's future. Director Wang smiled. We accept with one condition. The Empire must abandon its practice of subjugating developing civilizations. Together, we can create a galactic community based on mutual respect and shared innovation.